Why the good guys must gain power in the USA, or why the good guys must gain control of the US government. Well, it's to provide humanity freedom of choice, a different option. It's pretty simple. It's as simple as that, but I'm going to elaborate more. For so long, the good people have been so naive. People have bought into the system's lie. People have bought into the matrix. And just lately, people are starting to realize that they have been fed a lie for the longest time. And people are waking up to the fact that the world is collapsing in front of their eyes. But the devil has a game that he plays. The devil plays predictive programming. So the devil has been showing people subliminally for so long what his plan was. And also the Bible has warned us about what the devil's plan is going to be, or were going to be. But humans were so blind to the truth, to what was going to happen. And I think the event in 2020 has awakened a lot of people up. But 2020 surprised a lot of people. But God has always promised that even during the tribulation, He will provide safe havens for His people. He said that we have to prepare for harder times to come. Even the Israelites had to prepare for harder times to come, and God's helped them through their tribulation. Alright? So, what's happening now is what? 2020 was a warning. And the devil has, according to universal law, he has to show you what his plans are if he's going to destroy you. But humans, you have free will. So you either choose or you don't choose. But the devil is slick. He always shows you things in a mysterious way, in a subliminal way. So it's really hard to basically catch up with what he's doing. It's hard to really catch up to his games, to identify his games. Alright? So, right now, with what's happening in the world, there is a dark agenda and it's unavoidable. It's going to happen and it has to happen. Even the Bible says so, it has to happen. But God is giving his people a chance. This is the time that he promised. This is the safe haven that he promised. God is giving his people a chance. He's like, listen, there are harder times to come. You have been warned. You have felt the effects. You have felt a preview of what's to come in the future, of dark times ahead. Now you see how it is. You see how you were not prepared in 2020, but I'm giving you a chance to prepare for what's coming in the future. So what's going to happen is what? When the good guys take control of the US, that's going to basically give some space to even other countries in the world too, to get their stuff together. Because the bad guys are the ones that support corrupt regimes overseas and also have infiltrated the USA and are oppressing people and are basically in the agenda of replacing people in the US. But the saying goes that as America falls, the whole world falls too. Right now, if America falls right now, the rest of the world is going to fall too. And that's not good for humanity because the bad guys have infiltrated pretty much all the countries in the world. Maybe there are a few countries that are still fighting against these bad guys' agenda, but it's not enough. And if things went the bad guys' direction today, they're going to be blood on earth. They're going to be blood on earth. So it's about avoiding as much casualty as possible. Yeah, because if the bad guys gain power, that's World War III right away, and then human enslavement after that. And there is not going to be any place for anyone to escape, any safe haven. There's going to be World War III regardless. There's going to be Armageddon regardless. But there are two situations, there are two options. It's either you have Armageddon, but there are some safe haven for people to find refuge, or you have Armageddon and there is nowhere to escape and the whole world just burns. Boom, that's it, it's over. And God does not want that for his children. So what's going to happen is what? The good guys must take control of the West, of the US, and then give room for other countries to get their stuff together. And that's going to be a short window, like 2 to 5 years, for those countries to get their stuff together. And also, they're going to be an economic boom. The economies of the world are going to boom. And if you are smart, this is a warning, this is a wake-up call for smart people, for good people to be focused, to take advantage of that opportunity to basically save as much as possible, invest in something, to prepare, to build safe haven for people to come together and build communities, build safe havens for when things go down, they're going to have somewhere to run away to. You know, it might be a country in Africa where people are going to find a safe haven. People are going to build a community over there. It might be a country in Asia, in South America, just somewhere. It might be a city in the US, you know. But the good guys must take control for the people of God to prepare for what's to come, for dark times ahead. And after that, the bad guys are going to come back, and those who have not prepared and those who basically support their agendas are going to go with them. And they're all going to have to take the mark of the beast. They're going to have to take universal basic income and to submit to the will of those bad guys establishments, those bad guys governments and stuff like that. So yeah, the good guys must regain power in the USA. Yep. So when you're going to vote, you have to basically look at what's happening in the world and choose the political leaders that are against human replacement, against the great replacement, basically. Choose for the political leaders that wants self-sufficiency for every country, that wants every country to have its border closed, to have its borders, to have its own economy, to have nationalism, that political leaders that are against exploitations of other lands, that are against mass migration, basically, that are against wars. Look for that. The good guys must regain power in the US, otherwise the world is fucked. Because the US already controls the rest of the world. And now, if the good guys gain control of the US, the good guys are going to avoid wars, they're going to avoid exploitation and all these bad things, and that will help, that will give the opportunity to other countries to get their stuff together, and that will also reduce mass migration around the world. And when mass migration is reduced, people in the US have their lives back, you know, they have their economics, they have their opportunities back to them, they have their resources for them, and people in other countries too have their own currencies, they have their own economy, they have their own resources benefiting them too. And countries can trade with each other fairly, you know, in win-win relationships instead of exploitations. Yeah. So we have to pause slavery and colonization for a few years, because at the end of the day, the devil will not go out without a fight. So that's why World War III, Armageddon, slavery, all these things are going to happen. They're going to happen, but we have to be prepared first. God always gives us the choice. It's just hard to understand the message, because sometimes the message is sent in several mysterious ways from God, and the devil himself too is very subliminal. But we have to stay in tune with him, with God, in order to make sure that we are protected, that we are covered. And the message is there. He has shown us over the past 4 or 5 years the clear message, and now we have to wake up and prepare and find our safe haven for when things go down. That's what's happening. So that is the reason why good guys must regain power in the USA. Good guys must regain power in the USA. And by this point, At this point right now, we know exactly, like we know who is for globalization and who is against globalization. Now you just proceed with caution. I can't tell you what to do, but my advice is to go, like, if you really care about goods, about goodness, about the good of humanity, we have to stand up against the globalization agenda. God gave us free will, and every human must have the choice and right to do what is right and to want what's best for humanity, to do the will of God. Alright, guys, because we don't want the bad guys to take over, because when the bad guys take over, we don't have no more free will. We have to do everything according to their wills. The bad guys act like gods, but they are the devil. They want to be like gods, but they want us to submit to their rules, to their evil rules. With them, we don't have our birthrights. We don't have our human rights with the bad guys. You get the point, guys. Peace.